Welcome back to Robert Loyale, where I show you the ins and outs of graphic designs as it pertains to t-shirts, logos, and GIF animations. And today, I was sent a blog post or whatnot that's telling me the 5 reasons why people aren't buying merch. And this is kind of interesting because this is something that I've been wanting to talk about for a little while, and I've kind of incorporated into my channel already. But Jason Baxter here, he touched on a lot of points or whatnot that I've been trying to make, and I'm just going to go ahead and go through it. Now, this was made back in July 28th of 2014, but there's a lot of points that I want to talk about in this or whatnot, so I'm going to go ahead and cut the intro, and then we'll get into this. So 5 reasons why people aren't buying your merch, and there's pretty much a lot of obvious stuff going on in this post, but I'm going to go ahead and go through it with you guys so you guys can understand what's going on here. So there's a lot to be said, but before he even starts saying anything, I'm kind of already agreeing with him. He's saying that you have to have a thoughtful, hardworking diligence about what you're making and putting it out there. And pretty much you just got to have some type of heart about it. You also got to put some type of message behind it and all that. And I always say that because if you're trying to have a thoughtful meaning with your actual merch, then it has to be centered around some type of narrative. You just can't put out something and just think it's going to get sold. I know somebody who's trying to put out a line of just elephants, and I think it's cool because it's elephants, but what exactly are we talking about here? You know, what about the elephants? You're gonna say that it has skin that's tough or a small brain with a lot of memory? What are we talking about when we're talking about the elephants? And why is the elephants important? Does it connect with your brand? Does it connect with you feel? I just don't understand why he would do it. It's cool to see, but let's put a little bit more thought into this. And that's what he's talking about in this post right here. So his first point is, you're not there to sell it. And what he's pretty much saying is, and he's really talking about bands in this or whatnot, but he's saying that because you aren't there physically selling your products, and it's just some type of product manager or whatnot. You can have a product manager, but if you're not there selling your products, then there's no authenticity to it. Plus, merch is not going to sell itself. So anybody who's putting things up online or whatnot, you're just putting it out there and you think people are going to buy it. And that's not going to happen. You have to advertise. You have to be there. You have to be a PR to your own merch. His second point is that it's just too generic. And yes, I really do agree with this point. Sometimes a lot of things that people put out are just generic. It's like, I know I put out some generic stuff or whatnot, but putting out like a picture of a pineapple and that's calling it your t-shirt line, that's generic. Everybody's been doing that, you know. Start expanding your mind, start expanding your brand, and start doing things that are different. Because if it's too generic, if you're putting out a picture of a butterfly on a t-shirt, only person that's gonna buy that is that one little small girl who likes butterflies. She's gonna like that butterfly and she's gonna name that butterfly. Once she turns from 4 to 5 years old, she is never gonna wear that t-shirt again. It's too generic for her. The only way that I know that you can make a t-shirt without it being generic is if you put an actual meaning behind it. So that means you need to build a narrative, you need to build characters, you need to build something about your brand before you just start putting a butterfly out there that doesn't mean anything. What is that butterfly? Who is that butterfly? And why is that butterfly awesome? Too generic. It's overpriced. Now this is something that I battle with myself. I always put out a t-shirt and I'm always thinking like, is 20 bucks too much? He said down here that paying $15 is reasonable and inflated prices would be like $25. And that's turning off a lot of customers because they're not going to pay 25 bucks for a t-shirt. He wants you to learn how to do screen prints and stuff like that, which is cool because, you know, like I told you in my last video, if you're going to put something up on like Teesprings or Spreadshirt or anything like that, you have to price yourself low for them to price the t-shirt low. The more money that you ask for, the more it's going to cost in the end run. So screen printing, I don't know about screen printing. I'm more into the shirt press, but screen printing is cool as well. It's very cheap to make your own t-shirt and price it at your own price. And that's all I'm going to say on that. His fourth point is that there's just no variety. So if you're somebody that sells t-shirts, but you don't have like a t-shirt store, this is 100% for you. And he's saying that you don't have variety. So if you show up somewhere to like an event with a small or a medium, just things that fit you, then you're turning yourself off to like potential customers. If you're showing up with just black shirts and not white shirts or blue shirts or green shirts, you know, just any other color shirts, you're turning yourself off because there's no variety for you, you know, unless your brand is just centered around black and white, which if they're centered around black and white, you already have an audience for black and white. If you're coming in with a black shirt and your brand is colorful, then yeah, you pretty much just shut down everything else. And it doesn't make sense for you to have a black shirt and your brand is colorful, so it doesn't fit your brand. I'm gonna just go ahead and add that it just doesn't fit your brand. And his last point at number 5, which I really don't think makes a good number 5, is that you don't make change. which means if somebody was to bring $10 and your shirt was $5, you can't give them the $5. And I mean, I guess that's kind of crazy or whatnot, because now everybody, like he said, is using Square app or whatnot. And you know, I think we kind of evolved past that point. But if you are selling t-shirts and somebody doesn't have a credit card or a debit card, you should be able to make change, okay? And this happens a lot at the library now that I think about it, because we don't take 20s, and that's the rules, and everybody knows that. But if anybody comes in for like a copy from the copy machine or a print from the print machine or whatnot, they're always going to ask us to break change. And what irks us is that we have a sign that says we can't break 20s, and they'll come up to us with a 20 or 100 and say, hey, can you break this so we can make this 25-cent exchange? And it's kind of like, what, you know? So I kind of get what he's saying at the same point in time, but that's pretty much it. And I think he did a good job on this one, especially since he's talking about music and bands and stuff like that. There is some things that I want to add on top of this though. I like to appeal to people who's doing things online. One of the reasons why you aren't selling is because you're not marketing. Marketing as in like your brand is not set up to a certain point where people are like, I will do this. You're only targeting the nurses, you're only targeting the people that work in fast food, but you're not targeting like people who are gonna buy. But I've touched on it just a little bit in one video, and I want you guys to go check that out. So that'll be linked in here somewhere as well. You're not doing what you're supposed to do in the groundwork first before you start a t-shirt line, and that's the problem. So if you're not selling, kind of check out these points, kind of review these points real quick, and then also check out my video. But with that being said, you guys, if you like this one, give me a thumbs up. If you're new to the channel and you just kind of stumbled upon, I do this all the time, just go ahead and subscribe. I actually invite you to just go ahead and check out my channel. I do a lot of different things. You will always catch a lot of value. With that being said, you guys, I want to go ahead and close this out. So stay amazing, stay creative, but above all else, stay awesome.